Hi, everybody. Okay, great. What's up? It's me, Jessica, your program manager here at McLean, and I'm going to guide you through today's Express Core and Stretch class, where you just need to show up. So I'm so proud of you for joining me. Thank you. Um, you don't need any equipment for today's class, just yourself if you have a mat. Great. Otherwise, just make some space, and we're going to get started at the top of the mat. But if you want to face me to begin, that's totally okay. All right. Your choice, socks on or socks off. It's a little cold here, so I'm going to keep my socks on for today. But normally, and maybe later, I like to take them off for a little bit more of a grip with the mat, so you're not sliding around in your place and whatnot. Safety first. Okay. For now, go ahead, firmly plant your feet down on the floor, just about hips width distance apart. If you're not sure what hips width distance apart looks like, you can take two fists and measure just about two fists width distance between your feet so that they're in line with your hip bones, not with the outside of your hips. And then ground your feet down into the floor, maybe even making some circles with your feet, just to see what it feels like to get the ball of the big toe, of the pinky toe, to really dig your heels down. Start to come into your breath here. Also making your exhale a little slower than your inhale. And then find some stillness in your feet. Really press through all four corners of them. You can have a slight bend in your knees here. And we're going to work to stack the head over the heart, over the hips, over the heels. So check out if you're rounding through your shoulders. Inhale, lift those shoulders up, squeeze them back and down. Chest is lifted, belly is pulled in, no overarching of that low back, so maybe a tucking. Remember, you can have that bend in your knees, just some length through the crown of your head. Stretch your fingers down to the floor to decompress your shoulders. And let's take a couple breaths right here, finding one spot to focus your eyes or just simply close them. Turn your hands, palms forward to the wall in front of you. Inhale your arms up overhead. Stretch up from your waist to not just your shoulders, and then exhale, relax your arms down by your side. Take your time, the full length of your exhale to get your arms down by your side. Turn forward so you can see in case you're curious. All right, so feet are still ground, hands forward. Inhale, full length of your inhale. Eyes focus on one spot, bring arms up overhead. And then full length of your exhale, arms come down by your side. Let's do that one more time and then leave arms up. So turn your hands, palms forward. Inhale, arms up. Arms stay up overhead, palms are facing forward. Relax your right arm down by your side and find a big stretch over to the right side of the room. Imagine your shoulder is touching an imaginary wall behind you, so we're not collapsing down towards the floor. You can even take a moment, look up towards the ceiling, look down towards the floor, look back to whatever's in front of you. Inhale, lift yourself up. Let's take a moment, relax. Exhale, bring both arms down. Turn hands, palms forward. Inhale, both arms come up. Left arm comes down. Find your big stretch. Push your hips over to the right as you reach your arms to the left. You might be barely moving today, especially since we're starting this class earlier than usual. Just find what feels good. Look up towards your hands. You still have your back shoulder pressing against an imaginary wall. Look down to the floor. Just a nice rotation in your neck. Turn back to the wall in front of you. Inhale, both arms up. Keep those arms up overhead. Pull your belly in. Exhale, rain or swan dive down to the floor. Inhale, come into a half lift. So find some length through the crown of your head, through your spine, a nice flat back. And then exhale back down into your forward fold. If your fingers can touch the floor, great. If your fingers can't touch the floor, great. Maybe you grab hold of your opposite elbow. Maybe you wrap your hands around your legs. Take as generous of a bend of your knees as you need right now, especially in the morning, and try and bring your belly to your thighs for some support and relaxation of your low back, as opposed to hinging here from the waist, where it just puts a lot of stress and strain in the low back. The more that you bend your knees and bring your belly towards your thighs like a table, the more relaxed you should feel. Arms, once again, can find their space however open you are. Let's take 3 more breaths. On your next inhale, we're going to come into a half lift again. So find some length in your spine, nice and flat back, stretch through the crown of your head. Exhale, hands come down to the floor. Maybe they need to come way in front of you. Let's step those legs back and bring knees down to the floor right away. Find your tabletop. Spread your fingers out really nice and wide, like a starfish to get a nice stretch between the webbings of your fingers. And your knees are now stacked right on top of your hips. Make sure you're not sinking into your shoulders or rounding through the back. So pull your chest forward a bit towards your triceps. Eye gazes forward of the fingers, just taking a couple breaths with this nice flat back. Check out what's happening with your feet too. Are only your big toes on the floor? Are your tops of the feet lifted from the mat? Can you relax them down? Can you even press your baby pinky toe down on the floor? Great. And from here, let's find a couple cat cows. Start the motion with your hips. Find as much rounding. You can look towards your knees, maybe towards your belly button or your chest, and then opposite direction, pulling your chest through as you change your breath. See if you can look up towards the ceiling. Even if you can't see it, stretch your ocular nerves up towards the ceiling. Let's get a couple more cat cows. Enjoy the rest of this minute right here. Just finding any sort of shimmy or shake that works for you. Maybe you want to shake your cat or your cow's tail. Maybe you want to hold for a couple seconds in a stretch because that's what feels right. All right, let's warm up your legs. If your wrists are tired at all, you can always make a fist and press your knuckles down into the floor instead of this big stretch in the wrists early in the morning. Go ahead, extend your left leg nice and long. Try not to open up towards the side wall, so keep your hips squared down to the mat. Press the ball of the foot into the floor, stretch through your heels, squeeze your glutes, let your thighs engage. Then inhale, lift your left leg up, cross it over the right side of the body, however much feels okay today. And glance over your right shoulder. Push your hips to the left, just like we did for that standing opening stretch. Eye gaze back to center, shift your hips back to center. Lift your left leg up, bring it in next to your right. Give yourself a cat and a cow. Just notice how you're feeling. Be so proud of yourself for showing up, for taking this time to honor you and come back to your neutral tabletop. All right. From here, send your right leg out long behind you. Turn that hip down towards the mat. Press the ball of the foot into the floor. Stretch through your heel. No sinking into your shoulders. Upper back is engaged. Inhale, lift right leg up. Cross it over the left side of the body. Plant it on the floor and look over your left shoulder. Maybe you see your foot today. Maybe an extra shift of your hips helps. Maybe you still don't see your foot. Still totally okay. I can't see my foot today, and that's fine. That's why we're here. All right, go ahead, turn yourself, head back to center, lift that left leg up, bring it next to your right, toes together, open knees really nice and wide, send your glutes back towards your heels. Let's sink down for a child's pose. You can stretch your arms as far forward as you want, or you can keep as generous of a bend as feels right for today. Relax your breath, relax your mind. We're about to come into our core focused portion of class. One last little stretch into the hip openers, into the low back, tuning back to your breath. One more inhale, exhale in your child's pose. And then as you're ready, press yourself back up into tabletop. I'm going to take my socks off for safety. All right, because I want a little bit of a grip of my feet, or if you're wearing shoes, your sneakers can get that grip on the mat. First move that we're going to go for today is down dog into a plank. If you don't want to go from down dog into a plank, if you just want to challenge yourself with a delightful 40 seconds of plank work, please do. Otherwise, moving from down dog into your plank should make the move a little bit more accessible. Not that down dog is easy, but go ahead, press yourself up, take a generous bend of your legs. Low belly can come towards your knees again. Head is between your arms, and then we're going to shift forward. Hands are right below your chest. Belly is pulled in. Upper back is engaged. And when you want to, need to, or whenever you're ready, send yourself back up into that plank and then shift back forward into, sorry, I meant down dog. So we're just switching from one to the other. Hopefully you actually did join me because we've got about 15 seconds left of this first interval, just starting to wake up the body. We're going to come back to this move a little bit later and add on to it. Last one, if you're with me time-wise, send your hips up, send your shoulders forward, release your knees back down towards the floor. This time with legs a little bit closer together, send your glutes back towards your heels. We find ourselves in child's pose, and we're going to work from this child's pose for the next move to get a chaturanga style push-up. All right, so press yourself up. You can stay on your knees. I'm going to actually walk my knees back a little bit. And as you lower down into a push-up, chest is coming first and hands are right by your chest. And then press yourself up and stretch back all the way into your child's pose. Keep going at whatever pace works for you, shifting the weight forward. Eye gaze is forward of your fingers, and you're trying to keep that nice long straight line going all the way down towards the floor, as opposed to doing the worm. We're not trying to let our bellies come down first. But if that's what happens, stay while you're working on the strength. That's okay. Maybe you find you can only go a little bit of the way and then press yourself back up. That is fine too. Go ahead, send your hips back, enjoy that child's pose once again. And then stretch yourself forward. We're going to lay down on our side. We've got some side lying hip work. Relax your head on your arm. I'm on my left side. Right hand can be by your chest. Easier option of this move is to just lift your right leg up and with control lower your right leg down. If you want a little bit more challenge, we're going to lift the right leg up. Left leg is going to come, try and meet it, and then slowly lower both down together. We start in 3, 2, 1. Go for it. So either just right leg lifting up and coming back down, or left leg coming to meet the right and slowly coming down with control. Try not to roll back onto your glute. You're staying on your side hip. It's okay if your legs don't come as high as mine. Maybe your legs come even higher. Just work with control. We're more than halfway there right now. And then we're going to roll over to the other side and do this one more time. Make sure you're in control of your breath. Last 5 seconds. And take a break. Roll over to the other side. You can just roll over. I'm going to flip around so I can be polite and continue to face you. We've got 10 seconds till we get started in this move again. So set yourself up. This time my left hand is close by the chest, head is still on the arm, laying on your hip. Let's go ahead and begin. Both sides of the body aren't the same. So maybe on this side, you do just want to do one leg lifting instead of working to bring that lower leg to meet it. We're taking our time with this move, not rushing through. That way we're actually using our muscles as opposed to just momentum. It's going to be our goal for all that we're doing together today. 10 seconds left. I bet you're kicking some butt. Your best is always enough. That's what's important. 3, 2, one. Yay! We're coming back into that down dog plank move, but we're going to add into it as well. So this time when we're in the plank, I encourage you to step your feet in. Step your feet in, knees hover from the floor for bear, then send them back out into your plank and hips come up to down dog. Let's do it together. Find your down dog and then shift yourself forward into plank. Step your legs forward, knees hover off the floor, step your legs back. Hips go back up towards the ceiling. Awesome. Keep going. You can alternate with which leg you're bringing in first for your bear. I like this move because it really helps you to think towards the idea that in down dog, your hips are high. And in a plank, your hips are forward and lower or in line with your shoulders. We got 5 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Release the knees down to the floor. We're going to turn over and do some work from our back next. So laying down on your back, you can bend your knees. When you get here, we're going to do some knee drops side to side. So extend your arms out to the side. The closer that your knees are to the chest, the easier any sort of ab work is going to be. The more they're stacked on top of the hips, starting to get harder, a little further away from the center line of the body, even harder. We're going to keep this next move as simple as possible. So you're just going to work to release your knees to one side of the mat and then use your core to draw everything back up. Let's start in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So knees drop down to one side with control and then pull them right back in. And then knees come down to the other side and pull them right back in. That's feeling really easy. You want a little bit more as your knees drop down. Go ahead, kick through your heels, find some extension, bring your legs back, roll over, feel the flat of the back on the floor. I'm going to pull my pants up so there's no free shows here. Drop your knees to the side, press through your heels, bring them back in, and roll over. We got 10 seconds left. So either just doing these knee drops side to side or adding them this little bit of a kick. It's absolutely up to you. Last one. Awesome. Take a moment and pull your knees a little more into your chest. You can open your legs nice and wide, even rock gently side to side. Take that big stretch into your hip flexors. And we're going to stay right here on the floor. So exhale, bring the soles of the feet back down towards the mat with your knees bent. Arms can be relaxed down by your side. We're going to press up into a glute bridge and lower ourselves back down. If just lifting and lowering in a glute bridge is too easy for you, press up into your glute bridge. Give me a knee drive while you're up there. Release it back down to the floor, and then hips come back down. Let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So either just lifting up, squeeze, 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 full length of your exhale and lowering yourself down, or lifting yourself up, finding a nice knee drive with control, bringing it back down, and then glutes back down towards the floor. Making this move work for you. I want you to really think about pressing through your heels, squeezing glutes, driving hips up as much as you can. And then as soon as glutes are about to touch the floor, you squeeze, 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 lift again, getting that good hip thrust. Nice. Just about 10 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. Great. Release yourself back down to the mat. Oh, awesome. We're still going to work with the idea of those bent knees. So if you didn't get them last time, you can get them now. We're going to go for a finger tap behind the thigh. You can make this one as challenging as your abs are ready for. If you're looking for something a little bit on the lighter side, you're just going to do your best to exhale, reach up, tap behind your thigh with your bent knee, release your head back down towards the floor, tap behind your thigh with your bent knee, release your head down towards the floor. If you're looking for a little bit more, you can float your legs up off the floor, straighten your legs, tap behind your thigh, and then switch, straighten your legs, tap behind the thigh. Maybe you even keep your shoulders off of the mat the whole time. Let's start our 40 seconds in 3, 2, one. So that easier option is exhale, lifting up, tapping behind your bent knee, and then releasing your head and your feet back down towards the floor. Slightly harder option is straightening those legs out, maybe even keeping your shoulders off of the mat, and then just switching, kicking the legs, tapping your fingers behind the thigh, a little tappa, tappa, tappa. You know I love any sort of tappa, tappa. Keep your chin a little towards your chest so that you're looking towards your legs as opposed to up towards the ceiling. Keep your back feeling good. Remember, if you need to, you can relax your head down. We've got less than 10 seconds to go for three, two, one. Yay. Draw your knees back towards your chest. Give yourself a couple circles with those knees, making sure we get that stretch portion in as much as we can with this core work. We've got one more core move, and then we're all back to stretch city. Okay. Make your way to a standing position for a little world's greatest stretch. We've got plank form one more time for today. As you can, if you need to, you can do this next one from your knees. So if you're working from your knees, starting in tabletop, left foot's going to come forward. You can just find a nice rotation and twist. Left foot can come back. Right foot can step forward, rotation and twist. If you're looking for a little bit more, we're going to start in a plank and then same thing. One foot comes forward, rotate and twist, and then step back into the plank, other foot steps forward. You might even lift into a plank, bring your knees down, and move through like this for a little bit of a modification as you work towards staying in that full plank the whole time. All right, we start in three, two, one, go for it. So either just bringing your foot forward, finding your twist, or next level, bringing your foot forward, lifting your back leg up, finding your twist, or the hardest level is working from your plank, finding your twist, just stepping one foot forward, and then the other. Come on, you got this. This is our last big core move of the day. If you're having trouble getting your foot all the way forward, another great occasion to tappa, 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 tappa that foot as far forward as many times as you need to. Tappa, tappa, tappa. And then eventually in the future, you'll be able to step that foot all the way up as long as you just keep a regular practice. I promise. Okay, last 5 seconds, making this interval a little bit longer than the others. Three, two, one. Yay. Okay, bring one foot forward. So we're back in our modified lunge. Press that back knee off the floor. Step your left leg forward. Both feet side by side. Wiggle them closer together. Find a nice dangle once again. So take that generous bend of your legs. Head can release down towards the floor. Back to your nice, slow, relaxed breath. If you're looking for more of a stretch in your hamstrings, start to shift more weight towards your toes, lift your hips up, relax your shoulders away from your ears. Awesome. Go ahead, heel, toe your feet out nice and wide, maybe wider than mat width distance apart, wider than shoulder width apart, and then bring your hands down on the floor in front of you. Hands can come really far forward so you can get them on the floor. And if you're feeling really tight and you need to have a bend in your knees, that's fine. Left hand down on the floor. Take a big inhale, stretch your right arm up towards the ceiling. You might even shift your hips gently to the right side a little bit. Get a delightful stretch on your left inner thigh. One more big inhale. Exhale, release your right hand down to the floor, right at the center, and inhale your left arm up towards the sky. You might feel your hips shift a little to the left side. That's okay. Keep pressing the outer edge of your right foot to the floor. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Make space for your neck. Take one more big inhale. Exhale, release your left hand back down towards the floor. Turn your heels in, toes out. Take a generous bend of your knees. Take a nice little squat. And then inhale, press back up. Exhale, come down to a squat. See if you can start to lift your chest. Inhale, press back up. Let's get three more. Exhale, come on down into your squat. Inhale, lifting your chest. Exhale, coming down into your squat. Inhale, lifting your chest. One more. Exhale, come down to your squat. Doesn't matter how low it is, you can transfer either your elbows or your hands to your thigh. Let's take some malasana, some horse pose. So I just have myself really nice and wide in the straddle, dropping the left shoulder forward, dropping the right shoulder forward with intention. And then back to the center. Give yourself a couple cat-cows right here. Finding some rounding, some arching of your back. And next time you come into cat, slowly roll yourself all the way up. Stack your shoulders over your hips. Heel toe your feet back in towards each other. Great. Inhale your arms all the way up overhead. Exhale, release your arms down by your side and interlace your fingers behind your back. Stretch your knuckles down towards the floor. Take a really big, proud lift of your chest. Starting to come into a nice power pose. Grounding equally through all four corners of the feet. Release your hands from behind you carefully. Interlace them in front of you. Turn your palms forward. Take some rounding up your spine. Like you're pushing a wall away from you. Boop. On your inhale, press your heels, pull your belly in, stretch your arms up towards the ceiling. Find length from your waist. And exhale, take your time as your arms come down to the side. Reach all the way up towards the ceiling. Reach all the way up to the walls. And then as your arms come by your side, once again, stretch your fingers down towards the floor, decompressing your shoulders. All right, one more big inhale. And on your exhale, shake it out. Okay. Finishing it off with something just a little bit more fun, a little bit more movement and flow so that you can have fun, movement, flow through the rest of your day. We're going to just bang the drum. So think about yourself as one of those Chinese drums with the beads, and your hands are the beads. And I just want you to firmly plant your feet. They can be together, they can be a little wide, and just rotate from your core side to side. Think of your little hand beads as like being a massage. You're just kind of gently giving yourself a massage side to side. We're going to hold on one side for a standing spine twist in 3, 2, 1. I like to stick my hand beads where they were. So my hands are at my waist. Stretch your elbows down to the floor. Take a proud lift of your chest. You can then even squeeze your shoulder blades together. Elbows might come towards each other. Look over your shoulder a little bit deeper. Bring your head back in line with your heart. Come back to banging your own drum. Awesome. We're going to stop on the other side in 3, 2, 1. Find your stick and hold on the opposite side. You can press your fingers into your sides, stretch your elbows down towards the floor, ground through your feet, find length through the crown of your head, squeeze your shoulder blades together, and then look over that shoulder. See if you can find an extra little twist, stretch in your neck right here. Keep that length through the crown of your head. Turn your head back in line with your heart. Once more, just bang the drum side to side. Awesome. Create some stillness with your arms. Step your feet back together. Let's take one more set of big grounding breaths. So bend your knees. Inhale, stretch your arms all the way up towards the sky. Exhale, relax them by your side. Inhale, bend your knees, stretch your arms all the way up towards the sky. Even look up a little bit, start to get a little back bend. Chin back down to your chest, arms back down by your side. One more, bend your knees, inhale, look up, look back, maybe even push your hips forward, reach towards the back of the room. Stretch your arms back up towards the ceiling, hands palms together, bring them down to heart center. Take a moment, tuck your chin to your chest. Honor yourself. Yay. Thank you so much for coming to this morning's core and stretch, whether you join me live or you're watching it yourself later. I hope you had a great time. Looking forward to bringing so many more fun new classes. Thank you so much for sticking with us. And I'll see you again later this week for some super relaxing again.